Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida, but better yet, how about Happy New Year? 2025 is here, and we are looking for a fantastic year. We have so much to be thankful for. Christmas came early last year, November 5th, so this is going to be a great year. We're going to talk about the market in review. We're going to talk about really last year's numbers and what it possibly could mean, some indication for 2025. So stay tuned. I have, of course, Pastor John Antonucci here, and we are excited for this new year and this new series.
Yeah, good morning, Southwest Florida. We do have an exciting show lined up for you today, whether you're building wealth or planning for retirement or navigating the current market trends. You've really tuned into the right place today. Now is the time to take proactive steps towards a stronger financial future, and the decisions you make today can have a lasting impact on your financial goals. If you've been wondering how to position yourself to take advantage of what's ahead in 2025, Alfie Townsend is here to help you navigate through the fog of investing, and over 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional. And if you've put economic uncertainties on hold in your life, now is the time to make a decision. And Alfie has put together a toolkit which is complimentary that will help transform your worries of retirement into confidence. Inside Alfie's toolkit, you're going to get a wide range of materials such as, will your money last as long as you do? Are you paying too much in taxes in retirement? Social Security Decisions Guide, if you haven't made that vital decision yet, is also in there. Simply call the operator, ask for it, or text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Listen, it's time for a worry-free retirement. You want to get a hold of Alfie's Toolkit today. Simply text the word KIT or call the operator to 239-747-1077. And Alfie, future looks bright as we enter 2025, but 24 was a pretty good year, wasn't it?
Considering everything going on, you had the election year, you had an awful debate for Biden, and then you had Kamala come in, take his place. There was a lot of, rift between the Democrats. And so, considering everything going on, it was a great year. The Dow was up almost 14%. The S&P was up just over 25%. And NASDAQ was up almost 33%. So these are good numbers. These are not numbers just say, they were up a little bit. No, these were big numbers because the year before it had a good year. Now, remember, the year before, 2023, they were saying that 2024 was going to be okay, maybe double-digit, but mostly high single-digit numbers. So they wiped that off the board. So that's a good thing. So one thing about the market, it is unpredictable. You can't predict the market. It is something that is very, you can look at history, but there's just so many things that history doesn't take in consideration, like things that happen right away. I'm reading this book, Morgan Housel, The Psychology of Money, and he makes a lot of good points in there. He was saying if you look at all the things that happen in our world, the things that really matter was 9/11. That really shook the market. Then you have World War II. These are things that
major events.
Major events. There's only maybe 12 of them that were really, really big that shook the market. But these were not predicted. You couldn't predict them.
Yeah, well, you just read those numbers, everything that's up, and we were sitting here a year ago today talking about a possible recession in the second quarter, hoping for a soft landing.
Mm-hmm.
None of that actually transpired, did it?
No, not at all. And that's one thing about being in the market, to try to time the market. That's not a winning, way to be in the market. You have to be in the market, stay in the market, rebalance, make sure you have good companies, good diversification, and make sure that you are not pulling out when the market goes down, because we did have, just think if you pulled out, this is a great one. If you pulled out right before the election, right, and not knowing who was going to win, you would have been remember after Trump got elected, the next day, the Dow Jones went up 1,500 points. I think the Nasdaq went up almost 1,000 points. That was unbelievable in one day. So these are returns that you cannot make back, so you have to be in it. And market timing, we always talk about, just a waste of time. Really, you got to be right twice every time, when to get in, when to get out, when to get back in, and it's just not. It doesn't really work too good. Speaking of, like we had 9/11, and then in the first of 2025, we have a terrorist attack in 3 a.m. over in New Orleans. And then another one in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right. And these guys, I was listening to Glenn Beck. He wasn't on this past week, but his fill-in was in there and said that they were at the same base. Those two guys.
Yeah, military guys. American
yeah, but they were stationed in the same base. So you have them in the same base, and you have they rented the car from the same company, right? Toro, I think it was, and then you have and so how many more are these out there?
Yeah,
you just don't know. And these were homegrown people, right? And then you have all these people that came in. So that's the only thing that I'm concerned with, is we don't really know who's in our country,
right?
And that's a bad thing. We don't know who's in here, so that's going to be something that could rattle the market. But again, it didn't rattle it too bad. But things happen, and that's why you have to have a good plan in place. You have to have a plan that takes all that in consideration. You have to have an income plan that makes sure that your income is uninterrupted, regardless of what happens. If the market goes down or up, it is uninterrupted. So if you don't have a good written income plan, and you don't have really procedures in your portfolio to capture, those returns, but have some downside protection. These are things that we do here at the Advantage Retirement Group, and this is something that I think is very important to take advantage. I think it's going to be an optimistic market in 2025. We talked to our portfolio managers. They feel the same way. The optimism is very high with consumer. So the consumers are going to be spending. You have corporations that's going to be, getting tax breaks to bring the business back here in the United States. It's going to create jobs. It's going to be a more pro-growth oriented administration. So you have a lot of good things happening. So if you haven't really had your portfolio reviewed and checked out, this is the time to do it right here to really capture these returns that you might be missing if you don't do it.
Yeah, now's the time to hit the ground running, start the year off fresh, and it's a fresh, clean slate to get started with your portfolio. And why not have a review? Sit down with Alfie in Fort Myers or down in Naples, 2 beautiful offices. He does what's called a retirement simulator process that will do a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. He's going to take your portfolio back 5 years and show you exactly how his would have performed side by side with yours. He's also going to do a deep dive and expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns each and every year. He's going to make sure that you're allocated correctly, that you're diversified properly, that you're not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting. Listen, don't hesitate. Don't wait to the end of the broadcast. Be one of the first 9 callers. That's all we can handle this week. Pick up the phone, call the operator, or text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. There's no better time to sit down with Alfie Townsend. You're going to meet him personally. He has 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional. He is Southwest Florida's premier investment strategist, and he will put together a tailor-made plan that will get you to and through retirement. And his goal is to keep you retired, and he's able to do that with the wealth of knowledge that he has with the years of experience. Pick up the phone. Be one of the first 9 callers right now. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Either text or call the operator. Text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. That's 239-747-1077. You also can visit Alfie on the web, savingtheinvestor.com. Again, his website, savingtheinvestor.com, where you'll find a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services that he offers here through the Advantage Retirement Group. We're so happy you joined us today. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more investment strategies for you. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after this break. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. You know, Alfie's book was in high demand last week, and due to popular demand, Alfie is offering it again. A complimentary copy of his book awaits you. To claim your book, simply call the operator and ask for it, or text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. You know, Alfie's book is your guide to a fulfilling retirement. You don't want to miss out on the valuable insights, including many, many stories about investors that he has helped save over his 40-year career. That's why he named this broadcast Saving the Investor, because he wants to save you from the pitfalls, the traps, the schemes of Wall Street. Simply text the word book or call the operator 239-747-1077 to get your copy now. Simply call us or text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. 1077. And Alfie, as we continue to talk about the market update, the year-end review, unemployment fell again, which is a good sign of things to come, isn't it?
Yeah, we have unemployment, and those numbers are even going to go down further. Now with Trump in, you have, anytime you have a pro-business administration, and this, the past one, Biden, he really wasn't pro-business. It just really, I just think the economy was humming along. The market did good. Interest rates started coming down. So, they benefited a little bit of that. But people were, really getting their jobs back from the ones that were lost from Trump.
Right.
So these are going to be new jobs created. So when Trump comes in, they're going to be manufacturing coming back that wasn't here. That's going to be new. So you're going to have new jobs coming. You're going to have people hiring again. And then you're going to have, that, what's that, DFI or what DF, what companies are getting rid of, diversification.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of that. And the wokeness is gone. And look at companies like, Starbucks. I mean, they, like a guy said, I just want my coffee. I don't want to.
We don't need it.
Yeah. You're paying enough for coffee.
Right.
You're paying enough for that. So these companies are realizing they all got hurt from it. Ford got hurt from it. They're changing it. Walmart's changing it. So a lot of these companies are changing it. Now I hear Costco is keeping it for whatever reason. I don't understand, but I guess they could do whatever they want because people are always going to go to Costco. I will go to Costco, but I'm not a big fan of their political agenda there, but I will go to Costco.
Yeah. Well, you had that whole situation you talked about with Target, and people, then you moved stock over to Costco, didn't you?
That's right. And Costco's or Target's another one that's probably going to stick with it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why any company would want to stick with that. But yeah, speaking of that, we build portfolios. We use portfolio managers. We do a lot of research where the companies that we put in, we use SMA accounts. These are separate managed accounts. A lot of you that are listening, when you look at your statement, if you cannot see your individual stocks, that means you have indexes. Indexes are okay, but you have mutual fund indexes, then SMA. SMA is separate managed account. What's nice about those, we can build an SMA with about 50 companies that represents the S&P with 500 companies. And if a company's not doing good, we can take that one company out, swap it with another one, just like you said with Target. Yeah, they were going down a few years ago because they were very woke. We took them out, and then we swapped them with Costco. We made up all the losses, and then you had some great gains from Costco. So that's what's nice about having a custom portfolio. If you have just indexes or mutual funds, you cannot do that with index or mutual fund. So this is more customized. I always say I want things that you just can't get on your own. Okay, if your grandkids can get the same accounts that you can get, then that's a problem.
Yeah, and what you're talking about here is the flexibility that you have within the portfolio to change at any time. They really can't do that with like a major nationally known company, right? So an independent advisor, there's an advantage by dealing with someone like you.
Yeah, a lot of times, John, you have these brokerage firms, and they tell their advisors what to put their clients in, because there's revenue sharing in it, that mutual fund. I'm not going to mention any names, but a lot of a lot of you guys might be in accounts that you're in these different funds because they get kickback. The firm gets kickback, and if you start to ask yourself, is this for my benefit or their benefit? Right? Anytime you're getting a kickback, and it even says in their ADT, it says, this might be a conflict of interest.
Right.
Well, heck yes, it's a conflict of interest. If it's in your ADV, it says it right there. Hey, it could be a conflict of interest. That means that maybe it's not for your advantage, but it's a good fund. But maybe there's better ones over there, but we're going to put you in this one. So you don't know if it's for your advantage or the firm's advantage. So if you don't know if you have some of those funds, if you don't know what's really going on inside your portfolio, John talks about it all the time. The retirement simulator process it finds that out. It lets you know if you're doing revenue sharing with your firm that you're with. Revenue sharing means that they're getting paid additional money from the firm that you're from the fund that you might be in. Okay. So just think about it. If you're in a mutual fund, they could be doing a kickback, paying into this, to the firm that you're in. So if you don't know if you're in that firm or not, that's one of the reasons why you give us a call. We'll let you know what your fees are. We'll let you know if your firm's doing revenue sharing. We'll let you know how diversified you are, and let you know what the turnover ratio is on that portfolio and just what's going on. The best client is the most educated client, the one that does their research. So we're going to give you stuff that you can do your own research and say, you know what, does it make sense to stick with where I am or to make a move? That's what you want. You want to be educated, to know what you have, and then you make that choice.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new year, 2025. It's time to, we used to give these round two buttons to our clients in Maryland. It was a wooden coin, and it had round to it, and it had our number on the back. And they said, what's this? Well, when you get around to it, give us a call. These people that just would never do anything because they don't want to hurt the feeling of an advisor. They don't want to make a change because they don't like change. But change is, I had one of my old mentors said, Alfie, in business, you have to change. If you're not changing, you're dying. You have to stay ahead. You have to change, and you have to, stick out in front and know what's going on and be ahead. Don't be behind, because if you're behind, you're going to be left behind. So, be one of those people that say, okay, this is a 2025 new year. Let me give them a call and see what's going on. See if I could be in a better position, because we are repositioning our clients' portfolios from more of a defensive portfolio to more of a growth portfolio because of the election. So give us a call and let us show you what we're doing here at the Advanced Retirement Group.
Yeah, if you're like me from the Northeast, I used to buy my suits from a company called Cy Sims, and he always say an educated consumer is our best customer. And really, Alfie's not only going to educate you, but he's going to give you 40 years of a wealth of wisdom as a certified financial planner professional. And what he's talking about is he's a fiduciary, which means his responsibility is to you, the client, not to any products or services that he offers here through the Advanced Retirement Group. So he's going to put you in what's best. Listen, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone right now. Don't wait till the end of the broadcast. Be one of the first 9 callers and either call the number, ask the operator, or text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. You're going to want to sit down with Alfie, get a review. I mean, you have everything to gain. Let another set of eyes be on your portfolio, especially if you just came down now as a snowbird and you're here for the winter season. Why don't you pop in the office, meet this incredible team that's here, and Alfie will take a look at what you have and maybe put you into something that's going to be more conducive for the plan that and strategy that you desire to have. Maybe you haven't seen the growth in your portfolio that you want to see. Why not let Alfie Townsend, who is Southwest Florida's premier certified financial professional, take a look, go through his retirement simulator process, let him do a deep dive inside your current portfolio to see what's going on. Text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. After we're about 14 days from Trump being sworn in, I mean, what do you anticipate, for 2025?
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to have, again, when you're pro-business, less regulation. It has to be to the advantage of the stock market. It just has to be, because this is what business is like. This is what they thrive on. What they frown on is regulation, making you have to charge more money for employment, with minimum wage and all that. This is going to be pro-business, and when you're getting tax cuts for bringing your business back here from to the United States, manufacturing, I think it's going to be a year that you want to take advantage of. So if you haven't really set up an appointment yet, give us a call. Let us review and show you what we would do here. I think it's going to be exciting times in 2025. We'll be right back. Good morning, Southwest Florida. You're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, known as Southwest Florida Certified Financial Planner Professional. Been here for many years, grew up in Florida, moved to Miami in the 60s. I got to see the Miami Dolphins when they were undefeated in the 70s. So I've been here a long time in Florida, and we did move away a little bit, 20 years to Maryland, came back in 2008. So I love Southwest Florida. We are here to stay. And I'm here with Pastor John Antonucci, and he's from Jersey, but he's been here, 18 years?
21 years.
21 years. So yeah,
time flies when you have
time
fun.
flies, yes. And we live in paradise. That's a wonderful thing. So you are listening to Saving the Investor radio show. We also have a TV show on NBC2 right after Meet the Press. So hopefully you watched our show and you're listening to us on 92.5. And we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of questions that we get from the radio and TV shows. So we're going to answer some of these questions this morning. And that always seems to be some of the best shows, because this is what's on people's mind. We have the new president from 2024. We've had a different president, so now we have different opportunities. And so we're going to tell you some of the things that we're going to be exploring with our clients to educate them and let them make wise choices.
Yeah, no matter who's in the White House, Alfie's always going to add value to you and your portfolio. Alfie doesn't market time, stock pick, or track record invest. He puts together a plan that's going to get you to and through retirement, and you want to sit down with him in Fort Myers or Naples. Let him be a second pair of eyes. Visit with him. Give him a call or text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. That's 239-747-1077. We want to talk about some financial strategies during a pro-business landscape. And Alfie, you've really detailed some investment opportunities that your clients and your listeners can really take advantage of, that they can focus on in order to get to and through retirement, don't you?
Oh, yeah. You want to, when you're dealing with portfolios, you want to make sure the companies that you have in there are the right companies, but you also want to make sure that you have diversification. And diversification means that when things are going up, you don't want everything going up and down at the same time. That means you're not really diversified. You want to have some things that are going up, not as much when the market's going up, but when the market's going down, they might be staying, the ones that are not going down, or maybe staying where they are, or even going up a little bit. So you have to have some give and take, and that's called a diversified portfolio and risk management, where you might be buffered, meaning that it might only go down the first 5% you're responsible for. After that, the next 25% the ETF is responsible for. So that, because there's buffers in there. So if an account went down 15-20%, you're down 5%. So you can tolerate that. You just don't want to lose a big part of your money. And so you have to have things, in your portfolio that are tied to that. You also want to have things that, as have nothing to do with the market. As the market's going down, you're still making money. And there are accounts out there, with like structured notes that as long as it doesn't go down over 30%, you're going to keep making your, 7, 8, 9% interest rate. So this is what we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group is we're giving you opportunity to make money in different market environments. And, if we're in a growth market, you're going to have markets that you're going to have portfolios that's going to make all the market growth as much as the market makes you're going to make. But then you're going to have some things that will cap your upward, but you have a big protection on the bottom. So, and the other thing is, when you do have volatility, what's awesome about volatility is that there's options out there, meaning there's options that we can put on your portfolio that would be making money on the market regardless of what the market's doing. So you can get additional returns on your S&P 500. It might be 4 or 5%. It could be different stocks that we put it on. So you're making money on your money that you're not making now. So, let's say you're needing additional income and you have Apple stock. Well, Apple pays about a very low dividend, but what we can do is we can put options on there where you're getting an extra 4 or 5% on your stock. And people say, well, why wouldn't I do that? The only negative about that, if the market runs up and Apple goes up more than what's allowed, let's say 20%, 25% in that time period, we would have to either sell or roll it up to another term. And so there are options out there that a lot of people, they hear about, but they don't know anything about it. And they're maybe afraid to talk to their advisor, might not know about it. But there are ways to make additional income on your accounts that you might not be exploring. So if you have any questions about your portfolio, let us look at it. Let us see if we can create additional income for you on that. And then let us see if we can do some tax loss harvesting with that too. Because tax loss harvesting is another way to take advantage of the market where if you do have volatility, you can sell some of these accounts that are going down and still and then use those to offset your gains at a later date. So there's a lot going on that a lot of people, they just don't look into it, or they don't know not to look into it because their advisor maybe isn't talking anything about that. If your advisor's not talking about it, that might mean that we say this, you might have outgrown your advisor. There's a lot of times you might have outgrown your pastor, right?
Sure.
You might have outgrown your doctor. He's not keeping up with the new things. So don't be afraid to explore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, Alfie has a lot of alternative investment opportunities that you may not have heard of before, and he's just scratching the surface with what he's sharing with you right now. This is the Advantage Retirement Group difference that you're going to find. That's why maybe you have outgrown your advisor, maybe that you don't have an advisor, maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer. Why not come in and sit down with Alfie and let him put a second pair of eyes on what you have going on? And see if you're doing well, he's going to tell you stay the course. If you're on a right plan, a right strategy. But if you're not, and you see other opportunities, investment opportunities like these options you may not have heard of that you can get into that can bring you more increase each and every year, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? There's no better time than now. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Be one of the first 9 callers and either call the operator and say, I want to sit down with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples, or simply text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. Alfie does a deep dive into your current portfolio, and he takes it back 5 years, and you'll see side by side exactly what his would have done. And we know what yours did, because hindsight is 2020. And basically, you might have to make some changes. Maybe you have to diversify differently or be allocated differently, or you're not rebalancing enough to keep you in line with the strategy that has been set forth for you. He's going to make sure that you're not taking undue risk, and he's going to expose all the hidden fees inside your returns that could be eating up your gains each and every year. Either text the word visit or call the operator 239-747-1077. We're talking about some retirement strategies, financial planning. When it comes to retirement planning, how can investors really align their retirement and income strategies with the opportunities that are available right now?
Well, you have to remember, interest rates are up what they were just a few years ago, but they're not enough to give you that return that you need to stay ahead of inflation. So if inflation is still hovering between interest rates, everything where you have to make 5 or 6%, 7%, you have to look at alternatives. And one of the alternatives that we use, what I always like is to be able to take money. If you need $100,000 a year income from your account, I try to position it, John, where if the market goes down, it's not going to affect their income. Okay, so their accounts are going to be just fine. I don't want to take their income from an account that has a lot of volatility. That's the worst thing to do. If you're taking income from if your advisor is taking income from the whole account, that could be an issue, because the market goes down, then you have what you call reverse dollar cost averaging. So you want to make sure that you're taking income from an account that's generating enough income without it affecting your principal. So these are things that we look at here. There's fixed accounts that we can look at. Some of your bonds are paying pretty good income too. So these are, we specialize in income planning here at the Advanced Retirement Group. So we're going to look at your whole portfolio. We're going to look at your income. We're going to look at your growth of your portfolio. We're going to look at taxes. We're going to look at legacy. Where do you want this money to go when you're no longer here, and how to get it to your loved ones at the most efficient way to do it. And we have great attorney that we deal with, and he happens to be my attorney also. I tell people that. So there are strategies out there. You just have to find them.
Yeah, it's very important, and you need to position yourself for retirement. Maybe you're soon to be retired or already retired. Whatever place you find yourself in, Alfie's goal is to get you to and through retirement. Alfie has put together a toolkit that will help make the financial decisions a little bit easier, because inside this toolkit, you're going to find some materials which says, will your money last as long as you do? You need to read up on that. Are you paying too much in taxes in retirement? If Alfie can reduce your tax liability each and every year, that's going to put more money in your pocket to be able to do the things that you want to do here in Southwest Florida or wherever you head to. Social Security Decisions Guide is there. Simply to get his toolkit, all you have to do is call the operator and ask for it, or text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Listen, if you put your financial decisions on hold, maybe your money's on the sidelines and you're in a CD, 3-4%, that's not going to get it done. Get a hold of Alfie's toolkit today. It will help really guide you in this investment strategies that he has. 239-747-1077, or text the word KIT to 239-747-1077. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this break. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. Alfie's book was in high demand last week, and due to popular demand, he's offering a complimentary copy that's waiting for you to simply call or text in and be sent right to your home or wherever your place of business is. To claim your book, all you have to do is text the word book to 239-747-1077. Alfie's book is your guide to a fulfilling retirement. You don't want to miss out on the valuable insights, including many, many stories of investors that he has helped save over his 40-year career as a certified financial planner professional. 239-747-1077. Call the operator or text the word book to that number, and we'll get that book right out to you as soon as possible. We're answering some questions that you may have, and one of them is, how can I protect my assets, Alfie, while planning for a wealth transfer, or, should I consider alternative investments in my portfolio?
Yeah, so wealth transfer, this is a big thing now. You have, a lot of people have different accounts. Of course, you have, your IRAs. A lot of people have IRAs. They might have Roth IRAs. They might have just brokerage accounts, and then they have their savings and CDs. Now, as long as you have your named beneficiaries on there, yeah, they will go to your beneficiaries the way you want them to go. So that will bypass probate. So that's a good thing. Make sure you definitely have beneficiaries listed on your accounts. But there's some things out there like your home. You might have a property somewhere. You have your belongings that you want it to go to your kids, and if you have certain amount of kids, then you're going to have some that will go. Jewelry's going to go to some people, some of your kids, and then you're going to have different assets going to different kids. So you want to make sure, in a lot of cases, that you have a trust. Okay, and a trust is set up to bypass probate. Okay, many trusts are set up to bypass probate. And what I like about bypassing probate, you got to remember what probate is. It's the courts telling you where your money goes. They're the ones that are responsible getting your belongings. So if you don't have a will, or you don't have a trust, or you don't have named beneficiaries, really the state, they charge a good amount of money, and then they're having to distribute your assets. So if you don't have your affairs in order and you have a family, it's very, very important to make sure that your wealth transfer is done the way you want to do it. And one thing about having a trust, what I always say is you're controlling it from the grave. And you're controlling it from the grave. So if you want to make sure that, let's say you have, a lot of times clients will come in and they'll say, I'm concerned about my daughter. Her husband is, I think he's a little money hungry, or I'm not a big fan of him, or I love him. I love my daughter's husband, but the problem is I don't want him to have any of this money. If she gets it, I want it to be hers. So, you would have something written in your trust that is, for bloodline, that, if they get a divorce after she gets this money, or your son gets his money, based on his wife, they can't get this money. So these are all things that you can control from the grave. So these are all planning techniques that our attorneys are going to use for our clients, if that's what their desire is. To make sure that money passes on. There's, if you have a business. This is very, very important. If you have a business, how to transfer that business to your kids, how to transfer that business if you're about to sell that business, and make it where you're not going to use up a lot of your federal estate tax exemption. So these are all things. There's ways to do it. And if you have a business thinking about selling it, I can share some things with you when you give us a call. And the attorney will meet with you, but that could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just this conversation we're having right now, there are things you can do if you're selling a business or you want to transfer that business. So these are all things. A lot of times, John, people don't do any planning, and then when they die, there's estate taxes. I look at the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. I told you I lived here since the 60s, and the Dolphins, when Joe Robbie died, and my sister's husband was pallbearer for Joe Robbie. Yeah. So you have when he died, though, the family had to sell their business at a fast. Had to sell the Dolphins. I think it was, $200 something million. It was ridiculous what they sold it for. Right now it's probably worth, $5 billion, so they had to sell it because they didn't have enough to pay the estate taxes because they didn't do any planning. And now when Steinbrenner, I don't know if you remember this, John, when he died, the year that he died the year that it was unlimited for estate taxes. Like right now, it's at 13 million each. Let's say 26 million, 27 million for a couple. That's pretty high right now. But that year it was unlimited. Okay, so he was on that life support.
Right.
He was on life support before the end of the year because it would have went back to $5 million.
Wow.
That year, they probably said, you're taking one for the team, Dad.
Yeah, that's financial planning right there.
Yeah, and it was, so he died in the year that there was no estate taxes, so there was no taxes to transfer the Yankees over and all his net worth, billions of dollars over to the kids tax-free.
Yeah, awesome.
But there are some planning techniques better than that we can do it before.
Before you get to that.
Before that stage, absolutely. So, I love John talking about financial planning and things you can do to, save taxes, things you can do to make sure your wealth is transferred to your family the way you want it to be transferred, where you can control it from the grave, and really have an income where you can have income making more than what your CD rates are paying, more than inflation. So there are things that we do at the Advantage Retirement Group. We look at everything. That's why we're talking about different topics, because as a certified financial planner professional, our job is to look at your whole picture, not just part of the picture. And that's what I always say a CFP is. CFP professional is one that is a quarterback on your team, looking at the lawyers, the CPAs, the appraisers, and everything to look at everything.
Yeah, Alfie's going to add value to your life, and he has connections with all of these different people that you may not be thinking about. He's more than just a financial advisor, and he's talking about the implication of taxes. That is a ticking time bomb that we don't know what the future is going to hold for that. But fortunately, Alfie has put together a plan, a strategy, so that you can navigate around the complexities of the tax changes, and he's always up on really on what's taking place with the taxes. And he's put together a tax map. It's a plan that addresses uncertainties and instills confidence in your future. And as a certified financial planner professional, Alfie's tax map strives to help you achieve 3 goals. Number 1, it's going to lower your tax bracket. Number 2, it's going to protect your money when taxes do rise. And number 3, he's going to show you how to create a tax-free income. Listen, be one of the first 9 callers or text the word tax to 239-747-1077. Get a hold of Alfie's tax map right now. It's going to help minimize future taxes and generate tax-free income. Get a hold of Alfie's tax map. Call the operator. Say, I want that tax map that John is talking about, or text the word tax to 239-747-1077.
Thanks, John. There is a lot of great information in that tax map that you're going to learn about. So it would make it's definitely worth you to text that number and just go ahead and get it and look at it on your own time and see what you can do to save some tax dollars. And it really talks a little bit about what we do here at the Advantage Retirement Group. And I don't know if you've ever watched our TV show. It's called Saving the Investor. It's comes on NBC2 right after Meet the Press. It's 11 to 11:30, half-hour show, and it's a packed show. It's a very highly rated show, so that means there's some good information in there, and it's been on for many years, just like this radio show's been on well over 12 years now, 12, 13 years. So we appreciate you listening in and watching our TV, and I hope everybody's enjoy the show. We have Jake the Millennial is our producer of the show. He really helps us make sure we stay on track and give the information, and he makes sure it gets out to you properly. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful weekend and be blessed.